Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Taranja with the Citizenship Academy. We are on Domain 2, Lesson 10, Rise of the Inca Empire. Our objectives for today are to identify key details about the Inca Empire and summarize how the Inca Empire grew to become the largest pre-Columbian empire, and select specific words that reflect that relationship between two different cultures and apply these word choices for our Codex project. Our purpose for reading for today is to read closely to find out how the Inca Empire developed into the largest pre-Columbian empire in the Americas. And our big question is what factors contributed to the Inca Empire becoming the largest pre-Columbian empire. Our key vocabulary for today is litter. Litter has three actual meanings. A covered bed with long poles at the bottom for carrying someone of high importance, trash lying on the ground, and a group of baby animals born in the same time. Quinoa, a plant that grows in the Andes Mountains with seeds used as food or ground into flour. Condemned is to say in a very strong way that something is bad or wrong. Primitive is a simple and basic. Suspension bridge is a crossing hung from cables attached to towers. And swift-footed is quick. Okay, feel free to pause the video at any time as you are reading to make sure you are reading thoroughly and carefully. Okay, now we are on to our word work for today. Our word work is litter. As I said, there were three meanings for it, but the litter we're going to be focusing on is this one. So servants carried him on a golden litter. A litter means a covered bed with long poles at the bottom for carrying someone of high importance. This is an example over here of what that looks like. As you notice, these people are, typically royal or just someone very important. And usually these are kind of like the servants that carry them. And this is a noun. So today we're going to be working on planning and drafting our paragraphs. So the last lesson we worked on taking notes on the Aztec civilization. We're going to organize our thoughts to create that informative and explanatory paragraph. And we're going to use our fragments from our notes to do such a thing. So if you remember, this was the picture that I had posted in the previous lesson. These are your notes. You should have this in a notebook somewhere or a separate piece of paper. And I told you it was very important that you had this because it's going to be very helpful when it comes to writing your paragraph. So inside of this, you should have had details that went along with the aspect you chose, along with the page numbers in case you had to refer to them. Remember, we've already written our Mayan paragraph and you've already picked your picture and written your caption. Now you need this one for the Aztec one. Now previously I told you to ignore the planning notes. Now today you're going to be focusing on the planning notes. The planning notes tell you how or what you're going to use your notes for. So for example, as if you're reading your if you find that one of the things that you took in your lesson was something you want to use for your topic sentence, you'd write that in your planning notes. If you want to use something for your supporting details, you'd write that in the planning notes as well. So it's basically just taking the information you had and putting them, organizing them to create your paragraph. So previously in lesson 9, we talked about those comparing and contrasting sentence keywords that'll help you. So for example, we had the sentence similar to the Maya, the Aztec grew corn and beans and squash. This was an example of a comparing sentence where we're talking about two different things and we are able to use this keyword to connect them. In contrast to the Maya civilization, which developed in the Yucatan Peninsula and parts of Central America, the Aztec civilization developed in the Valley of Mexico. This was an example of a contrast sentence. This connection here made it so we can create one sentence that contrasted the two civilizations. So as you're writing today, I want you to look for two opportunities for you to use those phrases to compare the Maya and Aztec. Also, if you don't remember what those were, feel free to go to lesson 9 and look at the chart that I had provided that had all of those keywords. So now you're going to be working on your draft. So before you work on your draft, you should have completed your organization planning notes from the previous slide. Now you're going to be writing your topic sentence, your 3 details, and your concluding sentence. But with this paragraph, we also want you to include 2 opportunities for that comparison and contrasting with the Maya and Aztec. So that should also be included in this paragraph. I told you before, I'm going to show you guys this rubric every time that we talk about it, because this is very, very important. This is how your teacher will assess your work and see that you've included everything that was asked of you. So make sure that you refer to this often when you're writing your paragraph so that you know that you're on the right track. Now, when you're done writing your draft, and remember, when you're done with your draft, you're going to submit that to your teacher. You're also going to be working on getting that supporting image for your Aztec paragraph. You've already had one for your Mayan. You're going to also find one for your Aztec one. You're going to also create that reference list. I've showed you that in the previous time you wrote your paragraph. So make sure you're noting where you got your picture from and the date that it was published, the title. Those are very important so we can avoid plagiarism. And then again, you're going to draft a caption for your image. Reminder, your caption needs to support the picture, so it has to go along with the picture. And your picture and caption have to correlate with your paragraph. If you're talking about the Aztec civilization or the aspect that you chose, we should not see any images of Mayans or Incas or, your best friend's dog. We want to see things that go along with your paragraph because the picture and the caption are meant to support your writing. And all of these things you're going to submit to your teacher. So your job for your assessment for today is to plan and finish your Aztec paragraph, draft your Aztec paragraph, create your reference list, choose your picture, and give a caption. So it's really important you do all of those aspects. So we will see everyone in our next video.